Hare Krishna, welcome to all devotees. Now today we continue Srimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 8. And we try to understand Shloka Kramanka 3rd and 4th. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tata Jayam Udire Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiki. Hare Krishna. Shlok 3 and 4th. Kathayasva Mahabhaga
Kathayasva Mahabhaga.
Yatha Aham Akhila Atmani
Yatha Aham Akhil Atmani.
Krishne Niveshani Sangam
Kṛṣṇe Niveshani Sangham.
Manasya Akshay Kalevaram.
Manasya Akshay Kalevaram.
Shrunvata Shraddhaya Nityam
Shrunvatah Shraddhaya Nityam.
Grunata Cha Swacheshtitam
Grunatah cha swacheshtitam.
Kalena Nati Dirghena
Kalena nati dirghena.
Bhagavana Vishate Rudi
Bhagavan vishate hrudi.
Katayasva Mahabhaga
Kathayasva Mahabhaga.
Yatha Aham Akhila Atmani
Yatha aham akhilatmani.
Krishne Niveshani Sangam
Kṛṣṇe Niveshani Sangham.
Mana Tyakshe Kalevaram.
Manah tyakshe kalevaram.
Shrunvata Shraddhaya Nityam
Shrunvatah Shraddhaya Nityam.
Grunata Cha Swacheshtitam
Grunatah cha swacheshtitam.
Kalena Nati Dirghena
Kalena nati dirghena.
Bhagavana Vishate Rudi
Bhagavan vishate hrudi.
Kathayasva Mahabhaga Yatha Aham Akhila Atmani Krishne Niveshani Sangam Manah Tyakshe Kalevaram Shrunvata Shraddhaya Nityam Grunatah Cha Swacheshtitam Kalena Nati Dirghena Bhagavana Vishate Rudi. Hare Krishna.
Kathayasva Mahabhaga Yatha aham akhilatmani. Kṛṣṇe Niveshani Sangham Manah Takshe Kalevaram. Shrunvatah Shraddhaya Nityam. Grunatah cha swacheshtitam. Kalena nati dirghena. Bhagavan vishate hrudi.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh greatly fortunate Śukadeva Gosvāmī, please continue narrating Srimad Bhāgavatam so that I can place my mind upon the Supreme Soul, Lord Kṛṣṇa, and being completely freed from material qualities, thus relinquish this body. Persons who hear Srimad Bhāgavatam regularly and are always taking the matter very seriously will have the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, manifested in their hearts within a short time. Purport by the Srila To be fully engaged in hearing the transcendental narration described in the text of Srimad Bhagavatam means to constantly associate with the Supreme Soul, Sri Krishna, and to constantly associate with the Supreme Lord Krishna means to be liberated from the qualities of matter. Lord Krishna is like the sun and material contamination is like darkness. As the presence of the sun dissipates darkness, constant engagement in the association of the Lord Sri Krishna frees one from the contamination of the material qualities. Contamination by the material qualities is cause of repeated birth, death, liberation from material qualities in transcendence. Maharaj Parīkṣit was now a realized soul by this secret of liberation. through the grace of Śukadeva Gosvāmī. For the latter had informed the king that the highest perfection of life is to be in remembrance of Narayan at the end of life. Maharaj Parīkṣit was destined to give up his body at the end of 7 days, and thus he decided to continue remembering the Lord by his association with the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam, and thus to quit his body in full consciousness of the presence of the Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Soul. The hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam performed The hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam performed by professional men is different from the transcendental hearing of Maharaj Parīkṣit. Maharaj Parīkṣit was a soul realized in the absolute truth, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The fruity materialist is not a realized soul. He wants to derive some material benefit from his so-called hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. Undoubtedly, such an audience hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the professional men can derive some material benefit as they desire, but that does not mean that such a pretense of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam for a week is as good as the hearing of Maharaj Parikshit. It is the duty of the Sane to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from its self-realized soul and not be duped by professional men. One should continue such hearing till the end of one's life so that one can actually have the transcendental association of the Lord and thus be liberated simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Maharaj Parikshit had already given up all his connections with his kingdom and family, the most attractive features of materialism, but still he was conscious of his material body. He wanted to be free of such bondage also by the constant association of the Lord. Cheap devotees are materialistic devotees of the Lord are very much desirous to see the Lord personally without meeting the requisite qualification. Such third grade devotees should know well that material attachment and seeing the Lord face to face cannot go together. It is not such a mechanical process that the professional Bhagavatam reciters can do the job on behalf of the third grade materialistic pseudo devotee. The professional men are useless in the connection because they are neither self-realized nor interested in the liberation of the audience. They are simply interested in maintaining the material establishment of family attachment and earning some material benefits out of the profession. Maharaj Parikshit had no more than 7 days to live. But for others, Maharaj Parikshit personally recommends that one year Srimad Bhagavatam regularly Nityam, always by one's own effort and with serious devotion also. That will help one to see the Lord Sri Krishna manifested in one's heart within no time. The pseudo devotee, however, is very anxious to see the Lord according to his whims, not making any serious efforts to hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly and without detachment from material benefit. That is not the way recommended by by an authority like Maharaj Parikshit, who heard and benefited by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 8, and we try to understand Shlok Kramanka 3 and 4. In this shloka, we try to understand about in third shloka, they describe about the uh, Śukadeva Gosvāmī told Parīkṣit Maharaj about the uh, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam, and that that is the freed from material qualities and relinquish his bodies. He is told, please told me constantly about the Supreme Personalities pastimes and uh, um, um, that is the how the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna manifested in their hearts within a short period. Here they describe that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the transcendental narration described by the um, uh, Śukadeva Goswami to the Parīkṣit Maharaj and associate with the Supreme Soul, Sri Krishna. And in the shloka, uh, they told that Lord is like the sun and material contamination is like the darkness. How is when the sun come in the light of the sun, darkness is go out. Uh, like that, when we take the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, means we take the shelter of the devotional service, as we uh, as we accepted about the Krishna's service and how we hear about the Krishna's Leela, as we read and we take fully surrender on the foot of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the darkness means agyan is go away from our heart and we become pure. And when we become pure, then in our heart, the Supreme Lord is uh, clearly we understand him and give us a darshan. Here Maharaj Parīkṣit has only 7 days, and after 7 days he will give his body because of the cursing of the Brahmana the son, and he wanted the hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam performed by the professional men is different from the transcendental hearing of the Maharaj Parīkṣit. Both comparison is here they giving how we hear uh, the Supreme Personality of God is transcendental pastimes. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely in detail.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Apologies for the delay, first of all, to everyone. So these two shloks are very important, which are highlighting the importance of Shravanam, the hearing of the Lord's Leela. So what we understand is, if you have to really get to divine revelation from that, what is important is that we get the supreme success. We get the manifestation of the Lord through daily hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because supreme success at the time of death is only through constant remembrance of the Lord. So this verse is actually revealing the Parīkṣit Maharaj's wonderful mental state and his deep spiritual aspiration. So if you look at purport by Srila Prabhupada, what we see is that constant hearing of Bhagavatam is direct association with Lord. Lord who is like the sun, and material contamination is like a darkness. So just as darkness is removed by the sun, similarly, remembrance of the Lord removes the material bondage. And remembering Narayan at the time of death is the highest success. Maharaj Parīkṣit has realized this secret and resolved to leave his body while remembering the Lord through Bhāgavatam hearing. And that is why the Bhagavad Saptahas that we are used to and Parikshit Maharaj hearing, they are vastly different. Only hearing for a from a realized or self-realized guru can yield pure results. Now look at condition of Parikshit Maharaj. He knew with certainty that only 7 days remained before Takṣaka, the serpent, would end his life. Normally people panic, running to family, wealth, physicians, lawyers. But Parikshit Maharaj renounced everything and prayed, please Śukadeva Gosvāmī ji, keep narrating Bhāgavatam so that my mind remains fixed on Lord Kṛṣṇa. Niḥsaṅgaṁ. This word is very important, which is detached. When one connects with the Lord, detachment from material qualities automatically happens. Lord Krishna is that sun which is going to remove the material contamination of darkness. By always hearing and chanting his name, form, qualities, pastimes, the material attachments naturally fade away. And we get the aspiration to be successful, to get the greatest success at the time of death. This body is temporary, must be given up. But in what consciousness? Should a devotee live in fear or anxiety? No. For a devotee, death is not fearful. It is only a doorway to the next journey. A devotee offers his body at the feet of the Lord. Scripture states, Ante Narayana Smriti. Life is successful if one remembers Narayan at the time of death. So this is not accidental. A student who studies daily and answers easily in exams. Similarly, a person who regularly hears Krishna Katha naturally remembers him at death. And so Parikshit Maharaj desired to leave his body fully absorbed in Krishna. His consciousness was already purified. He knew the highest perfection. And hearing is association with Lord. Śukadeva Gosvāmī explains that Bhagavatam is direct contact with Lord, which is going to remove the ignorance and illusion. So hearing Krishna's glories removes all contamination. But we have to be careful, as I said earlier, about the false hearing of Bhagavad Saptas. People everywhere are arranging it. People hear for show, for donations, for social prestige. It may give material results like wealth, fame, piety, but not liberation or love of God. Parikshit Maharaj was completely different hearing. He heard solely to remember the Lord, and that is the real hearing. Bhagavatam hearing was a means of self-realization, not material gain. His only wish was Krishna's constant association. So we too should hear Bhagavatam from self-realized teachers. Lifelong hearing brings divine association. So the lessons are very clear that constantly hear Bhagavatam and Gita. Hear from right source. Prepare for that because that is certain. So begin remembrance practice now. Make hearing the center of life. Work and family continue, but the core should be hearing Krishna's glories. Life's true goal is not wealth or fame, but to remain absorbed in Lord's remembrance until the last moment, leaving the body in purified consciousness. So Parikshit Maharaj is actually showing how even at life's end, immersion in Krishna's name and stories brings perfection. Because finally Lord manifests only through daily Bhagavatam hearing. As we see in the shloka, even if you go to Bhagavad Gita, if you go to the 18th chapter, 70th shloka, it declares that one who studies this dialogue, holy dialogue, worships me by the sacrifice of knowledge. And in 71st shloka, Krishna says, one who faithfully and without envy hears this, becomes free from sins and attains the planet of the pious. So such profound importance of hearing of Bhagavatam and Krishna's importance. So the need is for pure hearing. Those who want to see God cheaply but neglect daily Bhagavatam hearing are not true devotees. The problem with cheap devotion is that some attain professional recitation seeking quick visions or material benefits. But such narrators are not self realized and the goal is only money or prestige. Hence, they cannot impart the essence. So, even though he had only 7 days, Parīkṣit Maharaj was hearing seriously, devotionally, constantly, so he attained perfection. For us, it is a lifelong practice. So, what is the path of genuine hearing? Nityam, regularity, not a one time event or weekly ritual. We have to make hearing daily and constant. It has to be with seriousness, hear with sincerity, not for material motives. And what is the benefit? By hearing daily, it keeps us connected to Krishna, freeing us from birth and death. Srila Prabhupada noted, seeing is believing, but actually hearing is seeing. Because Lord does not reveal himself to everyone. Queen Kunti explained, though the Lord is inside and outside all, fools cannot see him because of Maya. Only the surrendered and sincere receive his revelation, not the proud or rebellious. Learning and intelligence are not qualifications, his mercy is the qualification. And that is where comes the importance of simple faith. Women are, or even say, simple hearted souls. They often cannot argue philosophically, but attain the Lord by immediate and conditional faith. Gopis, Nand Maharaj, Yashoda, the cowherds, they all bound Krishna by their simple devotion. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed no one is as fortunate as the residents of Vrindavan who offered everything to Krishna. The true wealth of civilization is Krishna. Krishna is called Govinda because he lifted Govardhan and protected cows and cowherds. So indirectly what Krishna is trying to tell us that true human prosperity stands on two pillars of Brahminical culture, that is spiritual education and cow protection. And where they are absent, the Lord is never present. So the stage of devotional practice via hearing is another important aspect which we need to understand. So there are around 6 stages. It starts with Shraddha, that is faith. Then Sadhu Sangha, the devotee association. Bhajana Kriya, devotional practice, chanting. Then Anartha Nivrutti, the removal of unwanted habits. Then Nishtha, firm faith. And finally Ruchi, the test for hearing and chanting. So this is not mechanical. It grows through submission, service, and inquiry. So for devotees, hear Bhagavatam daily, ask questions, render service, take association with goodwill, accept initiation, renounce anarthas, develop steadfast faith, and then a deep taste for hearing. So the message for us is that there is no magical shortcut to seeing God. The real process is constant, serious hearing of Bhagavatam and chanting the Lord's names with faith. Through such practice, the Lord reveals himself in the heart. So, what this shloka is teaching us is that true devotees should engage in constant hearing and chanting. With simple faith and daily practice, the Lord manifests in the heart. We need not wait for miracles. The true miracle is that by regular hearing, Lord personally reveals himself. So, what we understand from these two shlokas together is that if you have to move from death to divine revelation, the supreme success, the manifestation of the Lord is through constant daily hearing of Bhagavatam. Parīkṣit Maharaj showed at that one can achieve supreme perfection through constant hearing. We simply have to follow his footsteps. Constant remembrance of Krishna by Bhagavatam hearing. Daily, sincere, pure hearing. It will cleanse the heart. Chetu darpana marjan. And then, swayameva spurteva. Krishna will manifest in such a heart. The civilization will prosper. So the path is very clear. Lifelong. Daily hearing and chanting with sincerity. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.